morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, our dear partner. Welcome to Nacelle Weekly Partner Office Hour. My name is Unita Hollinger. I am your Partner Alliance Manager, and I have with me my colleague Jake Tuman, which is our Partner Account Manager. Together, we'll be hosting this office hour, and we have very special guests in the presentation. As you can see, we'll have Algolia, we have Michael Rizzo from Partnership, and Micah from the engineering side will be presenting Algolia. And without further ado, let's go inside partner updates. Jake, you have the floor.
Fantastic. Thanks, Unita. Good morning, everybody. As a reminder, we're always excited to have people join our partner community via our Slack instance. Please reach out to me or use the link below, but we'd love to have you join to contribute to this growing community. Secondly, partner certification. The Nacelle certification track is now available to get partner certified. This is a huge opportunity to get in early and to join the ranks of a growing agency network to help build PWAs using Nacelle. With that certification, you will get promotion both in our directory as well socially. So hurry up and get out there and give it a try. The way you do that is through our partner portal. And within the partner portal, there are learning tracks and the quizzes associated with that certification, but it's also a fantastic resource to gain one-pagers, marketing materials, and just learn more about how Nacelle works. So please reach out to either Unita and I if you're interested in joining, but we look forward to having you be part of these communities. Back to you, Unita.
Thank you, Jake. So yes, please don't forget to join us in our partner portal. A lot of interesting resources, and also check our partner directory, and a lot of thing happening in the partner certification too. So a lot of exciting thing happening in Nacelle. And if you guys haven't heard about it, let me remind you again. Last week we just announced out of the box connector, meaning now Nacelle can serve all type of client in all major e-commerce platform. So if you have any further question about that, like Jake and I know. And then now let's talk about Tech Talk. Let's go straight away to Algolia. Let me invite Michael Rizzo from Partnership. Let me take out Jake over here. And let me also invite Micah Garside White as well. Hi, guys. Welcome. Good
Hello.
afternoon. I'll give the floor to you. Just let me know when to move the slides. Off you go.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Unita. My name is Michael. I am a partner manager here at Algolia. And I'd like to introduce my my colleague, Micah. Micah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Micah. I've been with Algolia for about 2 years and focused on the pre-sale side. So really excited to be here and talk about how Algolia can make your lives better.
Wonderful. Yeah. This is going to be a quick overview of the product. I'll be handing the floor over to Micah as he goes through the topics here, and then at the end, we'll open up for any questions you have. Yeah, take it away, Micah.
All right. I'm going to share my screen so I can walk us through some of these experiences, if that's okay. Should be able to see my screen. So the first that we're going to be looking at is the Algolia dashboard. The Algolia is a hosted API solution, so we can feed data in from a number of different ways. And then once we have that data in, we can actually start setting it up for search. So I'm going to start with some of the foundations of Algolia and search. What we're going to be looking at is a demo environment, which is not in our specific ecosystem, but the overall schema and everything does not matter. So looking at the table stakes of Algolia, the first thing that we're going to see is the search as you type, the speed is just out of the box as soon as you feed it in. So if we're looking for a laptop, you can see that is as you type, you can see the results come up and you can see the overall data as well as you can see the fuzzy search. We'll say that I did that on purpose and I don't have typos all the time. And you can see that you have the overall ability to see why your search results are number 1 and number 2. So behind the scenes, as we looked at, there was the configurations. The configurations are easy for a business user to set up. So you've actually taken search and you're giving it, sort of democratizing the search and giving it to your business users. We have these list of searchable attributes, and this is an ordered list where number 1 is the most important and number 4 is the least important. You can see that we can add in additional attributes with the click of a button, and we can drag and drop to change that importance. The other part, the business metric that comes in that makes this super easy, is we have this textual relevance. We can go more deeply into that in a longer term, but you get a nice 98% textual relevance from this tie-breaking algorithm. But we also have this nice custom ranking. So we're able to add in one or multiple business metrics that say that after I have a list of items that match my search results, I want them to be ranked based on something. Here, they're based on sales rank. They could be based on popularity. They could be based on margin. They could be based on availability. And not only can you do that, you can also test different theories as you go. The last sort of little touch we'll be taking into this is we'll be taking into the facets and the filters. So in the facets, we saw on the left-hand side, there were a number of facets, a number of different items that we could select and sort by. And you can see here that we can add them in here. And again, it's just as easy as being able to select something and save the results. So the business user can see. And when they're all done, they're all over here. So we can see those facets and filters. That's the foundational. There's a lot of advanced material we can go in. I'd be happy to spend more time later on talking about how we can really optimize once the foundation is complete. The next sort of components I wanted to look at were how a business user can improve and optimize the overall experience for Algolia. The next benefit we have is we have this analytics dashboard. So we can see how the search is being used. There's a lot of rich detail here, including the ability to create comparisons for week over week. But the net is you're able to see how many people are searching and then how effective your overall search results are. If you're looking at the merchandising capability, we have a very crisp, clean view of the top queries and their overall performance. Their performance are sort of numbered by this click-through rate and this conversion rate. And we can see when they're high, it's really good. And then the average click position. So we want these to be as high as possible and this to be as low as possible. We can click into any one and we can see what those results are and what is underperforming. So we can see American Girl Dolls is underperforming here. We're going to give just a little bit of a taste of how we can merchandise to assist those things. So if we create a new rule, we can see very quickly that we can see those results that are coming up and then we can manipulate them. We can go into more detail about this, but I'm just going to very quickly create this to be a compelling display that we're sort of missing. So we'll see here that with the Amazon and the Apple, we're seeing the most popular items. We can hide a few items, and now we're able to quickly create a compelling display. So just giving you a taste of the capabilities for the manual manipulation. The other part that's really helpful is the ability to look at sort of the advanced capabilities that are coming from the system. So not only can you take a manual manipulation, you can see that the AI is taking consuming data and making suggestions. So we're able to see how users are interacting with things through the click stream and say that, we have a certainty that in this case, soccer and FIFA would be a good synonym, and this would help your search results. You can see here that we can do a very simple add or reject at any time. I'm going to switch applications very briefly. And we're going to look at some of the other advanced AI features here. The other AI features that we're going to look at are going to be the re-ranking. So the AI can also be able to take your results to understand the clickstream and to look at how we can re-rank those results. So if we look at, we can see that based on the overall attractiveness score that the AI is calculating, we're able to present these results in a more dynamic way that are showing the better converting items up at the top. We'll have some compelling case studies so you can see what that business impact is of everything at the conclusion of this that are available at Algolia. The last component we'll be looking at is the personalization. The dynamic re-ranking is global. The personalization is one-to-one. So what we're able to see is we're able to see that we create a generic, or we create a specific algorithm for ourselves. We consume the clickstream, and then from the clickstream, we're able to create an affinity profile. That affinity profile is going to have search and browse and create that personalized experience for each person. The last thing I'll leave you with is the A/B testing allows the business user to do a data-driven approach, be able to create different strategies and to confirm that that strategy is having a positive impact on conversion and click-through rate. So you can see here that we had this proposed change in the custom ranking. We actually did see that it was true, but we saw it had a negative impact. So we're able to split this at any level, and we can actually run with the data-driven approach. To bring this all together, now we're going to be looking quickly at the front end. In the front end, we're going to be looking at one of our flagship implementations. Our flagship implementations, we can see the front end here for Gymshark. And this is a one implementation. You'll see that the overall front end library is very flexible. So if we look for red, we're actually able to understand the relevance. And if we look for shoes, we're able to see those results. Oh. Look for shorts. We're able to see those results very quickly and efficiently, and we're able to see what that looks like. If we actually click in, and we can see that we're able to even see up to what's available. We can talk more broadly about how that's implemented, but if we click into the item 2, we can see that Algolia is powering not only the search, but also the recommend. To very briefly go back to the recommend model, Algolia is consuming the same clickstream to create the overall recommend model. And if we look very briefly, we're able to see that these models are trained, and you can see what it looks like. This is 100% coverage, and there is the certainty that comes with it, as well as the recommendations. So back to Gymshark, we're seeing that those recommendations are visualized on the product display page. These can also be displayed on home pages, on marketing material, on checkout pages, and we can go more broadly into this implementation. So very briefly, what we saw was the underlying configuration. We saw that the core capabilities, as well as the ability to manage everything as a business user. And then we saw the implementation with the overall flexibility in the UI that comes with Algolia. How am I doing on time, just to make sure that I'm not running over?
We're doing great.
Okay.
Checking, Mika.
Absolutely. So if we have more time, what we'll actually flip to and look very briefly at is we'll look at the components on the UI. So we saw a great, oh, I didn't do that right. So we saw very briefly in the implementation of Gymshark, we saw what the UI looks like and how it differs from everything. The overall UI is driven by a front-end library that we call Instant Search. So if we look at the widgets, what we'll see in the Instant Search library is we have 4 flavors of JavaScript: vanilla, React, Angular, and Vue, as well as 2 mobile libraries, iOS and Android. These widgets are all displayed here with underlying configurations and are fully customizable. Here you can see all the widgets you could use. These are classically used in a search result page or a product listing page. The autocomplete library was actually what we saw from Gymshark, where they actually built a search result page in the autocomplete library, so you can see all of the flexibility. This is fully customizable. The other advantage here in the headless space is these are also optimized for overall load time. So that's how you're able to see not only fast search, but fast load for your headless implementation. In addition to these core components that we're looking at, we also have the solutions guide, which goes into specific suggestions for how you can build that best-in-class experience. So Gymshark had the search result page as a modal or a pop-up, but you can see that we've got a number of different suggestions as stage by stage. What we can actually see is not only are these core suggestions, but they are suggestions with the ability to look at a code library. So we saw what the library at Gymshark looks like. We can see that different implementations are using this in a different way. So you have utmost flexibility to build the experience your brand wants to have. If we look at iBuyDirect, we're going to look at a different style of modal. So you see here, we have the recent queries that are part of that library. We have product suggestions from a blank query, and we're actually going over multiple different objects. So we're also going over articles and FAQs. In this case, you can see the same search speed is there, but this also layers in the query suggestions. And when you hit enter, it comes to a classic search result page. We can get more into federated search. So federated is just the ability to run that query over multiple indices to display multiple pieces of content to be able to highlight the intent that the user is looking for. We'll see that the explicit capability to facet or filter and everything is just displayed differently from what is on that widget showcase, but it is the exact same. So you can see the full customizability of Algolia. Mike, that was the end of everything I had prepared. Was there anything that you wanted to cover?
No, I think that was brilliant. I think we can jump to questions if there are any. We can talk actually quickly about the the SEO that you had mentioned.
Absolutely. So, a lot of people are wondering, what is the impact of Algolia on SEO? Algolia itself is not an SEO optimization, so our real goal is to do no harm, but we have a number of positive benefits. I did mention that the library, the Instant Search library, is optimized for overall load time, plus the overall search response time is available. So if you do want to expose your JavaScript rather than pre-rendering, it'll have a positive impact because of the speed. Additionally, there are specific best practices in Algolia, along with specific components of the Instant Search library that can be used. One of the best practices is to make those URLs human readable and searchable. All of that's laid out in the Algolia documentation with step-by-step guidelines. And we really give you the flexibility of whether you want a pre-rendered search or you want to actually expose your JavaScript, as well as the ability to create on the fly PLPs or search result pages for different categories that you feel like might be missing. And those are classically done by just getting those search results and creating a canonical link inside of your sitemap.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thanks, Micah. You need to, if we have any questions. Oh, I think you're on mute.
I can't believe, 2022, still making the same mistake like 2 years ago.
I know.
So I was saying that was very interesting. Thank you for that. It's funny how you guys mentioned, right? Like this SEO and site speed, like that's one of the reasons why our merchants come to us looking for a solution to go headless, right? They want to be able to decoupling backend and the front end so they can have all this freedom to choose like the best in the breed solution for front end and back end, and also at the same time offering customization and personalization in the future, right? The freedom not to have this technical debt, and but still the name of the game also site speed, right? So I was just wondering, there's a question in our partner Slack channel about when should like a merchant consider a solution like Algolia when they have this in mind? Okay, I want to do headless, right? So, I guess the question is, when is the right time, or what's like the pain point they should recognize?
Absolutely. There's a lot of different paths and there's a lot of different, right times for everybody. The biggest thing with headless is you're spending so much time to create this wonderful experience and an additional infrastructure. That's a good time to actually go to Algolia. Algolia can pull additional front end load, has great search response time, has great load time, and really complements everything. So at that point, I would suggest Algolia is a very good solution because of the overall speed that you're seeing on load and the ability to make your headless server even more robust with the potential of having front-end communication that's super fast and snappy. In general, Algolia is well-known for its search speed and for its reliability. We can go more into that. But that would be my overall sort of thing. If you're going to create a custom sort of branded solution, or you're going to be looking at headless, that's a great time.
Very well. Thank you for that. And I think I remember something, Michael, you told me that, there's some kind of like report that you guys at Algolia can pull for the merchants, for them to see about, what do you, remind me again, what do you call this report that you can pull out?
Sorry, which report, Unita?
I think that's when someone want to know how they're doing with the site, the search, right? Like, there's something like a report you can pull out for them. Is there something you guys can offer, or like could you guys do like a run like diagnostic about their situation at this moment?
The search evaluation report.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought.
Absolutely. So we could definitely talk about it. This goes from, fundamental table stakes like the search speed, the ability to see things as you type, the fuzzy logic so that your customers really are unburdened and sets up the core for success. This can also go to advanced features, when you start going headless and you start creating those custom experiences. But that is the search evaluation report.
Excellent. Thank you. And I'm bringing back Jake in the call. Like I said in the beginning, he take care of all agency partners, right? So Jake, is there any like burning question that you think a lot of time when you speak with all agency partner about Algolia?
Yeah, I think, one natural question would be, as they're implementing Algolia through a PWA process, what is the level of support and documentation for them to be able to do that effectively?
It's an excellent question. So, as in all things, everybody is looking for a different level. So the first thing we can start with is Algolia is a dev first tool. That documentation I shared is fully public. That documentation, just to brag for a moment, is the reason I joined Algolia. This is the best documentation I've seen in my way too long in the industry. It includes code examples in your language of choice. We can go from Liquid to JavaScript to whatever you want in the back end. The support engineers are all engineers, so you're able to ask them questions about inspiration and troubleshooting. We also have additional partnership if we want. with technical account managers and customer success managers, so we can find the right team to get you the results you're looking for.
Fantastic. It's very helpful.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have. Jake and I want to say thank you to Micah and Michael. You guys set up the bar really high for being the first partner to present. So partners, if you out there, watch out. You better be prepared. But thank you again, and partners, please. Wait, if you have something you think it will be interesting to share with our merchants, our partner community, let us know. We'll be happy. We'll be so happy to have you, to host you in our partner office hour, just like with Algolia. Well, thank you, everyone, and have a nice rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.